Hi, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to SMG 453 Spot Project Management. So today we're going to continue with our chapter. Basically, we are going to discuss about the resource considerations. As you know, in developing or organizing a project, we need lots of resources. We need help from so many resources, especially the financial resources. So we need to consider few things so that we won't be delaying our project and we won't be over budget or under budget. So by understanding the resource considerations, it will help you in identifying either you are in a good path or you are in a critical path, right? So this is the learning objective. You will learn how to take resource constraints into account, determine the planned resource utilization for a project, level the use of resources within the required time frame, determine the shortest project schedule with limited resources. Okay, so resource constraint planning. As you know, almost all of a project, as I mentioned earlier, has available resources, has limits on available resources. For example, you have limits on the financial resources that you're going to use. So sometimes the project might be delayed due to inability of a resources. So by understanding this, we will help our team to avoid or to minimize the delays. Okay. So a network diagram can be drawn to reflect the availability of a limited number of resources. Network diagram, you can use either Gantt chart, or you might have also have the uh, activities in box in order for you to guide yourself. However, for this semester, we're not going to learn on how to calculate on the activity inbox and network diagram. Plan resources utilization. As you know, we need the resources to keep or to get our job done. So you need to indicate how much money or how many of the resources that you need in order to perform for each activity. So resource utilization will be based on activities earliest start time and based on the as soon as possible schedule. So by having a schedule, by creating a Gantt chart, you will determine which activity requires requires on how much or how many resources you need in order to perform that activity. Okay, resources utilization charts will be based on activities latest start time and also as late as possible schedule. Okay, so basically you're not going to see this because usually this one we're going to draw and we will calculate. However, for this semester we're not going to do that. Okay. And then we have resource leveling. So leveling or smoothing is a method for us to minimize the fluctuations that require in a resources. So this will help you to reduce the number or reduce the amount of fluctuations. Okay, so this will avoid the loss in completing your project. Okay, so this method levels the resources so that they will be applied uniformly, or we can use it secara seragam, okay, without extending the project schedule. It won't lead to delay. Okay, so it is a trial and error method. Okay, you need to try and error. You'll start off non-critical activities if non-critical activities are delayed beyond their earliest time, so you can perform this resource leveling. Okay, activity can be delayed up only to the point where their positive slack is used up. further delays will cause project to extend beyond the project due date. So sometimes you will create or you will estimate on how much time needed for you to perform an activity. Sometimes you put a maximum number to an activities, so you can delay an activity. However, you must ensure that the delay does not exceed the maximum time that you have put in. If happens to be the delay is more than the time that you estimated, then you will have a problem. Okay? Resource limited scheduling is a method for develop the shortest schedule where number of amount of available resources is fixed and cannot be exceeded. So this one, you won't be putting any maximum number towards it. You will put a minimum number, minimum amount of time in order to complete an activity. You have to make sure that the activity happens. The time must be shorter than what you planned. It cannot be more than that. So this one you have to be very specific, and you need to ensure that this one is a crucial or critical activity. Okay, so this one will extend the project completion time if necessary in order to keep up with the resource limits. Okay? It is also an uh, interactive iterative method. Okay, for example, when several activities need the same limited resource at the same time, well, the activity with the least slack will have the priority. So whenever you're doing, for example, in order for you to perform or to get a venue for your event, you need to pay deposit, and the amount of the deposit is the same amount, or you need to use that money also in order for you to book a caterer. So you need to find out which one of it has the least lag. So the least lag will have the first priority. For example, if you either booking a venue and booking a caterer, which one is critical? Definitely booking a venue, because venue, we only have several choices, but for caterer we have um, more choices rather than the venue, so you have to focus on the venue first. Okay, right. Project management software. Of course, at the end of each chapter you will know that there is a project management software that will be used in order for you to calculate the resource utilization, and this will help in completing your project. So if you're in industries, definitely you need to learn in a manual way, but usually nowadays they have a project management software which helps in handle the resources, so that you won't be the system will be more systematic, so you won't be hanky-panky, and all the documents are also in a very good order and organized. But you have to make sure that you learn in a manual ways, because system can break down, so that is where your brain will be very benefited in this particular point. Okay, I think that is all for this chapter. See you in the next class. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.